US auto market is in freefall, and what's coming next could be worse than anything we've seen since 2008. Car prices are falling, dealers are panicking, and buyers, they're disappearing. Across America, thousands of cars are being repossessed every single day. Banks are dumping them at auctions. Dealers can't sell them fast enough. And yet, prices are still dropping. Why? Because the market is broken. New cars sit on lots for months. Used cars are piling up. And consumers are drowning in debt. Interest rates are sky high. Insurance costs have doubled in just a few years. Wages, flat. Savings, gone. This is a perfect storm. And it's about to hit harder than anyone expects. In today's video, we're going to expose what's really happening in the US auto market, why prices are already collapsing, and why the next crash will be even worse. Because here's the truth. The first wave was just the beginning. The repossessions, the bankrupt dealerships, the collapsing EV bubble, that was only round one. Now round two is here, and it could change the car market in America forever. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear will shock you. This is the US auto market freefall. Right now, across America, the car market is cracking. And it's not just one small problem. It's a full chain reaction. One domino after another. Let's start with new cars. Dealers are overloaded. Parking lots are jammed. SUVs, trucks, sedans, just sitting there collecting dust. Some models don't move for months at a time. And every week, more inventory arrives. So why aren't these cars selling? The answer is simple. Prices are still way too high. The average new car in America now costs over $47,000. That's the average. Not luxury, not high-end. That's just normal. Now add the interest rate. Over 7% for new loans. Over 9% for used loans. That means an ordinary family buying an ordinary car is now staring at a payment of $700, $800, even $1,000 a month. For many households, that's almost as much as rent or a mortgage. Completely unsustainable. And here's the kicker. People simply can't afford it anymore. Repossessions are surging. Banks and lenders are taking cars back at record speed. It's not just luxury cars. It's family SUVs. It's pickup trucks. It's cars people bought just 2 years ago already being hauled away. Where do those cars go? They go to auction. And right now, auctions are overflowing. Thousands and thousands of cars are being dumped back into the system. But here's the problem. When those cars hit the market, they don't move either. Not at the prices dealers want. So what happens? Dealers are forced to cut/discount again and again. A used car that was worth $25,000 last year might be worth only $19,000 today. And by next year, could be worth $15,000 or less. That's how fast the values are collapsing. CarMax, the biggest used car retailer in America, is feeling the pain hardest. They bought inventory at the peak, when prices were sky high. Now they're stuck with cars nobody wants at those levels. They either sell at a massive loss, or they sit on lots, draining money every single day. In just the last year, CarMax has lost billions. And other dealerships are no different. Margins have evaporated. Profits are gone. Some stores are closing their doors forever. Even for the dealers still open, the math doesn't work. Cars sit too long. Financing is too expensive. Consumers walk away. And it's not just the purchase price. Insurance is skyrocketing. Maintenance is brutal. Gas prices swing higher every month. Owning a car in America has become a financial nightmare. So demand dies. The excitement is gone. And when demand disappears, prices collapse, inventories pile up, and the crash feeds on itself. This is the reality today. Not next year. Not 5 years from now. It's happening right now. The US auto market isn't on the edge. It's not maybe slowing down. It's already collapsing in real time. And the signs are everywhere. Empty showrooms, flooded auctions, dealers begging for buyers, banks pulling back, and consumers saying, no, not at these prices. This is the freefall. And it's only the beginning. So the market is already cracking. But the question is, why is it getting even worse? Why are car prices about to crash again? Let's break it down. First, the banks. They are in full retreat. During 2020 and 2021, banks were throwing out auto loans like candy. 0 down payments, low interest, stretching terms to 72 months, 84 months, even 96 months. But now, that's over. Banks got burned. Defaults are rising. Repos are skyrocketing. So lenders are slamming the brakes. What does that mean for buyers? It means fewer approvals. It means stricter credit checks. It means bigger down payments. And when loans do go through, the payments are so high, people walk away. Bottom line, fewer buyers are getting loans. And fewer loans means fewer sales. Now let's talk about dealerships. Dealers are trapped in a vicious cycle. They bought inventory at inflated prices. They financed that inventory with floor plan loans. And every month, those loans rack up interest. So cars sitting on lots don't just take up space. They bleed money. Every week that a car doesn't sell, the dealer loses more. That's why you're seeing more desperate moves. Massive markdowns, flash sales, employee pricing events, dealers cutting thousands off sticker price just to get rid of cars. But here's the scary part. Even with discounts, people still aren't buying because consumers are tapped out. And that leads us to the American household. For years, wages haven't kept up with inflation. Groceries are up, rent is up, utilities are up, insurance premiums are up, and now car payments, they've gone through the roof. Families are making hard choices. Do you buy that SUV? Or do you keep the old one running a little longer? Do you sign a $900 payment contract? Or do you just say, forget it? More and more people are saying forget it. They're fixing old cars. They're buying cheaper alternatives. Or they're skipping the purchase altogether. Meanwhile, manufacturers keep pumping out vehicles. Ford, GM, Stellantis, Toyota, Honda, they don't want to slow production. Why? Because Wall Street punishes slowdowns. So they keep the assembly lines running. Even if cars aren't selling, that means supply keeps growing. Inventories stack up higher and higher. Dealers choke on unsold cars. And the pressure to cut prices gets stronger. Now add in electric vehicles. Automakers invested billions into EV production. But demand isn't keeping up. Dealers across the country are rejecting EV allocations. Showrooms are packed with unsold electric cars. Ford has slashed F-150 Lightning prices. Chevy is cutting Bolt prices. Tesla is slashing over and over again. When EVs don't sell, those losses spill over into the rest of the market. Because now automakers need to unload gas-powered cars, too. It's a mess on both sides. And here's another bombshell: insurance. Car insurance in America is up nearly 20% year over year. For some drivers, it's up 30 or even 40%. That means even if you can afford the car, you might not be able to afford the insurance. So again, buyers walk away. Put it all together: banks pulling back, dealers drowning in inventory, families broke, manufacturers overproducing, insurance exploding, and EV chaos. This is why the crash is accelerating. Not just a dip, not just a correction, a full collapse in motion. Think about it like a pressure cooker. The heat keeps building, the pressure keeps rising, and eventually, it blows. And right now, the auto market is at that boiling point. The cracks we're seeing today, repos, auctions, discounts, they're just the beginning. The next stage is full-on price collapse. Because when cars don't sell, dealers slash. When dealers slash, used values tank. When used values tank, banks panic. And the cycle keeps spiraling down. That's why this crash isn't slowing down. It's speeding up. So now we know why the market is crashing. But what happens when it does? What are the ripple effects? Because this isn't just about car prices. This crash is going to spread. And when it spreads, it's going to shake the entire economy. Let's start with dealerships. Across the US, dealers are closing at a record pace. Big city stores, small-town family lots. Nobody is safe. When car sales dry up, dealers can't pay their bills. They can't cover payroll. They can't keep the lights on. And one by one, they shut down. That means lost jobs. Not just for salesmen, but mechanics, finance managers, receptionists, janitors. Each dealership employs dozens, sometimes hundreds. When they go under, entire communities feel it. Now think about auto workers. Factories don't run forever when cars pile up. Automakers will start cutting shifts. Then they'll shut down plants. Tens of thousands of union jobs are on the line. And this spreads to suppliers. The companies that make the glass, the steel, the electronics, the seats, the tires. When fewer cars are built, those companies get crushed too. It's a chain reaction, from the dealership lot all the way back to the factory floor. But it doesn't stop there. Look at banks. Auto loans make up a huge slice of consumer lending. When defaults rise, banks take big hits. Repos cost money. Auctions return pennies on the dollar. And balance sheets start bleeding red ink. That spooks investors. Bank stocks fall. And in a fragile financial system, that can trigger bigger problems. Sound familiar? It should, because we've seen this before. Housing market 2008. Same story. Too much easy credit followed by a wave of defaults. And then collapse. Now, I'm not saying autos will crash the entire economy like housing did. But make no mistake, it will cause real pain. Let's talk about consumers. When car prices crash, it's not just buyers celebrating. It's also owners panicking. Because suddenly, that car in your driveway isn't worth what you owe on it. Millions of Americans are already underwater on their auto loans. That means they owe more than the car is worth. And when prices fall further, that problem explodes. Imagine you bought a $50,000 truck in 2022. Today, it's worth $38,000. But you still owe $46,000. What happens if you lose your job? Or just can't keep up with $1,000 payments? You hand the keys back. Repo. And every repo pushes prices lower. Every repo floods the used market with more cars. And the spiral accelerates. Meanwhile, local governments get hit too. Sales taxes from car sales are a huge revenue stream. When sales slow, tax revenue drops. That means less money for schools, less for roads, less for services. So the crash doesn't just hit car dealers. It hits everyone in the community. And don't forget Wall Street. Investors are heavily exposed to automakers, suppliers, lenders, and insurers. When the auto sector tanks, portfolios shrink. Retirement accounts take hits. Confidence drops. The auto industry is a massive pillar of the US economy. We're talking millions of jobs, billions in taxes, trillions in credit exposure. When that pillar shakes, the whole house trembles. Now, some people think falling car prices are a good thing. And yes, for buyers who waited, it can be. But here's the reality. If the price collapse comes from desperation, not strength, it's a warning sign. It means the system is breaking down. It's like seeing a store slash prices by 70%. You don't cheer. You ask, why are they desperate? What's wrong behind the scenes? That's where we are with the auto market. Not healthy discounts, not sustainable savings, but panic pricing. And panic always spreads. That's why this isn't just about cars. This is about the broader US economy. Because when autos fall, they drag other industries with them. Finance, manufacturing, retail, government. It's a domino effect. And once the first tile falls, it's almost impossible to stop the chain. So where does this all lead? What's the road ahead for the US auto market? And what does it mean for you, the consumer? Let's break it down. First, prices will keep falling. That's not a prediction. It's a reality. The inventory is stacked too high. Demand is too weak. And credit is too tight. Dealers can only hold out for so long. Eventually, they slash prices just to survive. That means another wave of discounts. Another wave of desperation. But don't mistake that for stability. Because cheap cars in a broken system don't solve the problem. They just mask it for a little while. Second, the EV gamble is backfiring. For years, automakers poured billions into electric cars. They built factories, hyped new models, bet the future of their companies on EVs. But here's the truth. Most Americans aren't buying. EVs are stacking up on lots. Incentives are getting bigger every month. And dealers are begging for relief. That leaves automakers caught in the middle, too deep in EV investments to turn back, but not enough buyers to make it pay off. It's a financial trap. Third, the hybrid comeback. Toyota saw this years ago. They doubled down on hybrids, not full EVs. Now, as the EV hype slows, Toyota looks like the smartest guy in the room. Other automakers are scrambling. Ford is rushing hybrid F-150s. GM is dusting off plug-in models. Even Dodge is turning to hybrid muscle cars. Because here's the thing, Americans want fuel savings. They want range, but they also want convenience. And hybrids deliver that balance. So while EVs stall, hybrids might just save the industry, at least for now. Fourth, the dealer shakeout. Not every dealer will survive. In fact, thousands won't. The weak will close. The strong will consolidate. We're going to see fewer dealerships, larger groups, and more direct sales from automakers. That means less competition, fewer choices, and possibly higher long-term prices once the dust settles. It's survival of the fittest. And the small-town, family-owned lot? Sadly, many of them won't make it. Fifth, the consumer squeeze. Yes, prices are coming down, but credit is still expensive. A $30,000 car at 9% interest feels just as painful as a $40,000 car at 4%. So even as sticker prices fall, monthly payments won't magically become affordable for everyone. Buyers will need strong credit, stable jobs, and cash for down payments. Otherwise, they'll get locked out. And finally, the government factor. Don't think Washington is sitting this one out. The White House has already leaned hard on EV mandates, tax credits, and emission rules. But now, as the market collapses, pressure is mounting. Do they double down on EVs? Do they ease rules to help struggling automakers? Do they bail out failing dealers? Or do they let the market burn and reset? That answer could shape the next decade of American auto. So what should you, as a consumer, do? Number 1, don't panic. If you need a car right now, buy smart. Don't chase hype. Don't overpay. Stick to proven models with good reliability and reasonable financing. Number 2, watch the market. The deals will get better. Patience will pay off. If you can wait, wait. Let the crash work in your favor. Number 3, protect yourself. If you already own a car, make sure you're not underwater. If you are, think carefully before trading in or upgrading. And whatever you do, don't stretch yourself thin with giant payments, because the road ahead is rough. And the people who survive financially will be the ones who play it safe. At the end of the day, the US auto market is in freefall. The bubble is bursting. Dealers are panicking. Automakers are scrambling. And consumers are caught in the crossfire. But with every collapse, there's also opportunity. The smart buyers will get deals. The smart companies will adapt. And the smart investors will position for the rebound. The next 12 to 24 months will decide the future of American auto. Will EVs sink or swim? Will hybrids rise to dominance? Will the dealer model collapse completely? Will prices finally stabilize? Or keep crashing? One thing is certain, we're living through one of the most dramatic shifts in the history of the US car market, and when the dust settles, nothing will look the same. So buckle up, because the ride isn't over yet. Not by a long shot.